Good afternoon and welcome. I'm thrilled to be here with all of you celebrating the class of 2023. I'm Du Bois Bowman, and I have the privilege and honor of serving as the Dean of the School of Public Health at the University of Michigan. I'm also a proud alumnus of the school, having earned my master's degree in the School of Public Health in the Department of Biostatistics just a handful of years ago. So today I'm here not only as your dean, but also here as someone who's been in your shoes and remembers really the exciting road that lies ahead for all of you. Not only did I see my own career unfold after graduation, but I also witnessed the careers of my classmates, my friends, my peers, as they entered their next steps in their professional careers and stepped into the real world. I saw my Michigan public health classmates evolve into public health leaders around the world, and I know that the same will happen for all of you. This afternoon, we are celebrating over 500 graduates. And after graduation, you will fan out across the globe, taking on critical roles in government agencies, in healthcare systems, in the private sector, on the front lines of public health practice, and in countless other areas. Today, some of you may be uncertain of what the future holds, perhaps feeling overwhelmed by the pressure to answer the question of what's next. Most of us here today have experienced that feeling before. I have experienced that feeling. Like I said, I've been in your shoes. But be assured that powered by a Michigan public health degree, you have the skills, the education, and the talent to determine your path. So we're assembled here at commencement, which marks the conclusion of a student's course of study. But in its essence, the word commencement for you also signals the beginning of your public health journey. And while today may feel like the end, it really marks a new beginning, a new chapter in your life. And my understanding of what lies ahead for you as you enter the amazing network of Michigan public health alumni, it gives me a great sense of excitement, hope, and optimism. You each have something important and valuable to offer the world, and we are all cheering you on. Graduates, we're here today to celebrate you. We all hope that you're leaving with memories of triumph, of good times together, and hopefully also a lifetime connection with classmates. But we also know that you've experienced many challenges along the way. But despite times of great challenge, you made it. You did that. And that is what we're truly here to celebrate today. It's your grit, your determination, your perseverance, and your tenacity in completing this step of your educational journey. And that deserves a huge round of applause. And I also understand that you didn't get here alone. I understand that pursuing an education takes a village. And you can look around today and see some of those people who made up yours, your family, your friends, your classmates, your staff, and your faculty. And I'd like to take a moment just to recognize the many people who played a part in your journey. Thank you to the faculty for delivering an outstanding education to our graduates while also mentoring and developing them to become future leaders. Our work our work would also not be possible without the support of our staff and student employees who keep our school moving forward every day. I also want to thank everyone who traveled today to participate in this ceremony and to really celebrate and support our graduates. And I know that many other guests and family members were not able to be here in person, but are here with you in spirit as they also played a critical role in your journey. So I'd like to thank everyone who supported our graduates and give a resounding applause for all of them. So in the best of times, earning a degree in public health is an incredible achievement. But in 2023, it feels particularly notable. That's because the world needs you now more than ever. You are the moment. Your time at our school comes during a period where there's increased public awareness about the field of public health. I'm seeing people view many of society's most pressing challenges as public health issues. Working to make certain that people have access to nutritious food, that's public health. Combating existing and emerging infectious disease threats, that's public health. Addressing discrimination in the U.S. healthcare system, that's public health. Seeking solutions to decrease firearm injury and violence, that's public health. Ensuring that communities have clean water to drink and air to breathe, that's public health. Understanding how mental health challenges impact our well-being, that's public health. And working to address the adverse impacts of climate change, that's public health. While the issues that we work on can be complex and challenging, I know that we're in good hands with you at the helm. Graduates, you began your studies at Michigan Public Health with an idea of a better future and the determination to help build it. We are grateful and honored that you chose to begin that important work with us. From here, I encourage you to pursue opportunities that excite you, that challenge you, to find places where you can make a difference. Trust yourself to know what is right for you and to know what isn't. Don't be afraid to change directions or seek new opportunities. Your path is yours. Own it and shape it. We all believe in you. We are proud that you will be representing the University of Michigan School of Public Health in all of your future endeavors. So please join me in giving our graduates a very well-deserved round of applause. Each year, a student is selected to speak at our ceremony on behalf of the entire graduating class. And this year, I'm pleased to share that Reem Fawaz, an undergraduate student in public health sciences, will be delivering the address today. Reem, will you please join me at the podium?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Dean Bowman. I am filled with joy to gather safely with the class of 2023 in Hill Auditorium. This gathering itself is a true testament to the power of public health practice and innovation. Just last year, this celebration was held outdoors, and the year before, it was on Zoom. I am thankful for the work our school has done to allow us to celebrate Backen Hill once again. Notably, our celebration today is made all the more special by the fact that almost 70 years ago this month, a historic achievement was announced just next door at Rackham Auditorium. At the time, polio, a devastating viral disease, was causing paralysis and death in thousands of adults and children every year. Even our 32nd president, Franklin Roosevelt, succumbed to the tragic effects of this disease. The fear and uncertainty surrounding this disease were palpable, and the need for treatment was evident. Eventually, a team of researchers here at the School of Public Health, led by Thomas Francis Jr., conducted one of the largest clinical trials in history. With the collaboration of his mentee, Jonas Salk, they achieved triumphant results: a safe, effective, and potent vaccine for polio. This vaccine marked a turning point in the fight against polio. It paved the way for widespread vaccination campaigns, and parents around the world could breathe again. But the tale of the polio vaccine is more than a scientific achievement. It is a story of collaboration, persistence, and determination, the same qualities that have brought you all through your journey as public health professionals today. During our time at Michigan, we have spent years studying the principles of public health. I have deep gratitude for the education we received. Many of us started with Dr. Emily Hewitt's highly regarded Intro to Public Health class. Her class provided us with a strong public health foundation to build upon. For many of you, you had the opportunity to work with StatCom, where you volunteered to serve communities and small businesses by providing statistical knowledge and data analyses. We learned how to design brief interventions, and you explored unique learning opportunities through the Public Health Action Support Team, working with communities to enhance health outcomes. Above all, we have triumphed together through challenges and ongoing crises. After all, we are the class that survived without a cafeteria in our building. While the success of the polio vaccine is largely credited to Salk and Francis, they were not alone in this effort. A number of researchers, scientists, students, women, and people of color all contributed to the remarkable outcome of the trials. The story of this vaccine reminds us that great achievements are rarely accomplished alone. Our success beyond graduation will be a result of our shared commitment to public health and our continued dedication to collaboration, persistence, and determination. Since studying public health, I've had to remain persistent when explaining my own major. When I told people I was studying public health, their immediate responses included, "So you want to be a nurse?" Or "You want to study people's skin?" Mixing the terms epidemiology and dermatology. I'm sure for many of you there are similar responses, and we know the list goes on and on and on. At the time, we were a year and a half into the pandemic, and I was baffled that still our public health work felt so invisible. Safe food and water guidelines, seatbelt laws, and vaccines, these are all hallmarks of public health. We are like the superheroes in masks and capes that save the citizens of New York City or Gotham without anyone ever knowing their real identity. While many of these superheroes' identities are unknown, I'm determined to unveil the mystery behind public health and its crucial role in protecting and promoting the health of populations. For me, the desire to study in this field is to promote the health of my own family. I'm the oldest of 20 grandchildren. I've earned the responsibility of taking on each of my cousins' challenges, sharing their heartbreaks, and joining in on their passions. We play soccer and basketball. We read Harry Potter and watch Disney's Descendants for maybe the 100th time. We build Lego sets and sandcastles. When we spend our summers on Lake Michigan, I double check to see if everyone on the boat is wearing a life jacket. And when we eat at our grandparents' house, I make sure their plates are filled with just enough protein and vegetables. I'm sure it comes as no surprise then when I share with you that I am known as the mom among my friends and family. And while I sometimes wince at this title, it reminds me of the privilege to study public health. We know that physical activity, safety precautions, and a balanced diet are critical components of favorable health outcomes. But we also know they are not the sole contenders when pursuing a healthier world. There are challenges and crises we must face in order to prioritize my family's and your family's health and well-being that extend beyond these measures, like the ongoing and persistent threat of climate change, passing common sense gun laws, and achieving overall better access to quality and, most importantly, compassionate healthcare. Pursuing a career in public health allows me to make sure all of my little cousins and yours can grow up in a world that prioritizes their well-being. We must rely on each other and remember those same qualities of collaboration, persistence, and determination. I am thrilled and touched that some of my cousins are here today, even if it's only because it meant they could skip a day of school. As graduates of the University of Michigan School of Public Health, we are privileged and prepared to overcome these challenges. We are uniquely positioned to positively impact the world, not just as professionals in public health, but as leaders. Michigan has equipped us with the tools and network necessary to excel in our fields. Let us embrace this privilege and use our superpowers to take on these challenges with adequate solutions, and soon, all children will have the opportunity to safely play outside, learn in school, and grow up to be healthy and happy adults. I only encourage you to stay curious, committed to the principles of public health, and most of all, passionate. We are entering a constantly evolving field, and as we've learned from the past few years, often thankless. So, let me finish by saying thank you. To my classmates and friends, thank you for always pushing me outside of my comfort zone and for inspiring me and those around you to always be in pursuit of a healthier, more equitable, and just world. To my professors, thank you for your hard work, compassion, and mentorship. I would not be the same without any of you. You have all taught me there is nothing wrong and no such thing as being too passionate. I am so lucky to have found my own Thomas Francis, as Jonas Salk did here. Thank you, Dr. Hewitt. And I've learned that the best way to thank a mentor is to be a mentor. And most of all, thank you to my parents, Mo and Mona Fawaz. I am the product of their sacrifices and unwavering love and support. The greatest gift you have given me, besides my siblings and a wonderful home, is always believing in me. Because of you both, I believe in myself. Congratulations to the class of 2023, and forever and always, go Blue.
Reem, thank you so much for sharing those reflections with us, for all of those in attendance today. That's a reflection of what we produce here at Michigan Public Health, and it warms my heart to see. We often think of what an institution gives to students, but our students in turn continue to inspire us to be a part of their journey. So Reem, thank you. And in particular, I want to echo just our comments about staying curious and passionate and committed to the principles of public health. I think that's excellent advice for all of us, and including all of your fellow graduates. So now it is my distinct honor to introduce our commencement speaker, an exemplary national public health leader. As the nation's doctor, he works to tackle our country's most pressing public health challenges and support vulnerable and underserved populations. We are pleased to be joined this afternoon by the U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy. Dr. Murthy currently serves as the 21st Surgeon General of the United States under President Biden. He works tirelessly, and this is not his first rodeo. He also served as the 19th Surgeon General under President Obama. During his tenure as Surgeon General, Dr. Murthy is focused on drawing attention to and working across government to address a number of critical public health issues, which include the growing proliferation of health misinformation, the ongoing youth mental health crisis, well-being and burnout in health worker communities, and social isolation and loneliness. We are delighted to have an immensely talented and experienced guest speaker of his caliber with us today to address our graduates. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Murthy.
Well, hello everyone. How's everyone doing? I'm so excited to be with you today. I want to start by thanking Dean Bowman for the kind introduction to join you. I want to thank Reem for that fantastic speech with so many beautiful nuggets of wisdom. And to our dean and to Reem, but also to the faculty and the staff and trustees of the University of Michigan School of Public Health, to the proud parents and family members whose love made today possible, and most importantly, to the graduates of the class of 2023. It is such an honor and a privilege to be with you on your special, special day. Now, it's especially meaningful for me to be here in Michigan because my two dear friends are here as well. Devang Shah, a proud Michigan graduate, and my former roommate from graduate school, as well as his wife, Rani Punglia, a physician and researcher at the University of Michigan School of Medicine, who are two of my dearest friends who have meant more to me than they will ever know. But as it turns out, they are also one of my earliest matchmaking successes. So it is a hobby of mine on the side. What could be more public health than relationships, right? So, but now that you and I have formally met, you know something about me that most people don't, which is that despite this uniform that I wear, and despite what most people at the airport and at my kids' schools may think, I am not, in fact, an airline pilot. This uniform that I wear is the uniform of the United States Public Health Service, one of our nation's 8 uniformed services, whose 6,000 dedicated medical and public health officers I'm privileged to oversee as Surgeon General. And like many of you, my own journey to this stage was a rather unlikely one. You know, if life was governed entirely by probability, I'll tell you what I would be doing right now. I would be growing rice, tamarind, and coconuts in a poor farming village in India, just barely scraping together the resources to feed my family. Because this was the life that my grandfather led, and it was a life that my father was destined to lead as well. But the funny thing about dreams is that they take root in unlikely places. And my father, in the midst of bracing poverty, found himself dreaming of a brighter future full of opportunity in a faraway land. He was dreaming of America. And nearly 40 years ago, my parents, they managed to come to America with little money and with few contacts, but with high hopes for the life that they could build for themselves and for their children. They inspired me to become a doctor through their own care of patients. And they raised my sister and me to believe that America was a place where your ideas and your willingness to work hard mattered more than the color of your skin or the sound of your accent or how funny sounding your name was. And despite all of our imperfections as a nation, I stand before you fully aware that in few other countries in the world could the grandson of a poor farmer from India be asked by the president to look out for the entire health of a nation. That is the power and promise of America, and I will forever be grateful for it. Now, over the last few years of school, you have been through an experience like no other. So by the way, if older public health graduates say, yeah, I know what it was like to go through public health school, say, not during a pandemic. No, you don't. But the pandemic really changed how you learned, how you engaged with classmates, how you thought about the future that was awaiting you. And the fact that you navigated so much adversity and uncertainty is a testament to your resilience, to your determination. I could not be more proud of you. And the truth is that the world needs you more than ever. Because COVID-19 and the health challenges that it has accelerated has made the work that you will do even more urgent. It's also made our work in public health more complicated. We must now figure out how to rapidly modernize our public health infrastructure in America. We have to confront the spread of health misinformation. And we have to rebuild trust within our communities. Now, I know it might feel like the world you're inheriting is overwhelming, particularly as you're confronted with public health challenges such as gun violence and climate change and mental illness and health disparities. And by the way, if anyone ever tells you that issues like gun violence and climate change and poverty aren't public health issues and that you should just stay in your own lane, you tell them this is my lane, because this is public health. But as heavy and as overwhelming as these issues can seem at times, I want to tell you why I feel optimistic and hopeful that we have what it takes to overcome the challenges ahead of us. Because each day as I travel across our great country, I see so many reasons to be hopeful. The neighbors, for example, that I encounter all over America who help each other with childcare, who help each other with getting to the doctor, they remind me that we are still a generous people. The nurses and doctors who put themselves in harm's way to care for patients during the worst moments of the pandemic, they remind me that we are still brave and dedicated people. And the students that I encounter who are creating programs to address loneliness and support the mental health of their classmates, they remind me that regardless of what our age is, that we still have the capacity to be compassionate and dedicated to one another. Yes, the challenges we face are real, but never let what is broken about the world blind you to what is also beautiful about the world. Because for all its flaws and imperfections, there's still a lot of good to be found around us if we are willing to look for it, if we are willing to be it. So as you set out in this new world, let me tell you what I want for you most of all. It's for you to live a life of deep fulfillment. The kind of life that will bring you joy, that you will look back on years from now with contentment. The kind of life that will bring out the best in you. Today, I want to offer 3 gifts that you can cultivate that will help you build such a life in the years ahead. The first gift is clarity. Clarity about what truly matters to you. Now, we all need an internal compass to help us make decisions, especially during difficult times. But getting clear on what brings you meaning and fulfillment isn't easy, because the world is constantly telling us what should matter to us. Some years ago, I met a patient who had worked for years in the food industry with a modest salary and a humble lifestyle. But then one day, the unexpected happened. He won the lottery. Literally. Overnight, his life changed. He quit his job. He moved into a large house in a gated community. Yet as he sat across from me, he sadly declared that winning the lottery was the worst thing that ever happened to me. You see, he was wealthy, but he was alone. He no longer knew his neighbors and lost touch with his former coworkers. He was lonely and depressed, and not long after, he developed high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity. Now, what struck me about his story is that he was actually happy before he won the lottery. He enjoyed the company of his colleagues at work. He found gratification in being able to serve his customers. And knowing his neighbors made the place he lived truly feel like home. Now, the world we're immersed in tells us if we can just get enough money, enough promotions, enough publications, enough recognition, then we'll be successful. But I know many people who have achieved in all these areas, but are profoundly unhappy. Success without fulfillment is not success at all. And to get clear about what matters to us, to set our own standards for success, we have to search for the moments that have brought us deep joy and made us feel excited and alive. The clues may be buried in our past, in summer experiences, in side jobs, in classes that inspired us, in late-night conversations with your classmates. And if you haven't experienced such moments yet, keep looking, keep trying different experiences, because finding what truly matters in life is like falling in love. You know it when you feel it, and once you've felt it, you want to hold on to it. As Steve Jobs once said, life is short, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Now, it's one thing to have clarity on what brings you fulfillment, but it's another thing to actually pursue what your clarity tells you you have to pursue. Now, there are times when your internal compass will guide you to making a decision that's hard or unpopular. It might involve saying no to a high-profile job or turning down a lucrative opportunity. It may risk disappointing your mentors, or your friends. And that can be scary. But that's why the second gift I wish for you is courage. Now, when the Twin Towers fell on 9/11, on that fateful morning 22 years ago, a morning which I still remember clear as day because I was in graduate school at that time. But on that morning, thousands of Manhattan residents fled south, looking for an escape from the growing inferno behind them. But instead of relief, they were greeted by the unforgiving waters of the Hudson River, which offered them no path to safety. Now, the panicked crowd continued to grow and grow and grow until the US Coast Guard made a key decision. They issued a radio call to every civilian ship in the area, asking them to join in an unprecedented citizen rescue mission. The response was overwhelming. Within minutes, the Hudson was covered with scores of boats that were streaking toward the southern tip of Manhattan. They pierced through the dense cloud of dust and debris, and they brought soot-covered people on board, offered them water, and ferried them to safety. In 9 hours, nearly 500,000 people were rescued. The 9/11 boat lift became the largest boat rescue in the history of the world. But the 9/11 boat lift was powered by ordinary people. They were never trained in emergency response. They didn't have a degree in public health from the University of Michigan. And they would never have described themselves as heroes. They had every reason to flee to safety themselves, but their courage is what allowed them to act. Vincent Ardolino, who was the captain of the Amberjack, on that day he said his wife thought that he was a maniac for wanting to take his boat toward Manhattan. But he knew that he had to go. Quote, and this is what he said, "Never go through life saying you should have. If you want to do something, you do it." Because the greatest regrets we have in life are not about the risks we take. They're usually about the risks we don't take. And it's important to remember that courage is not the absence of fear. We all will feel fear, but courage is the ability to move forward even in the face of your fear. And all of us have the capacity to be courageous. Courage doesn't always look like rescuing people from an inferno. More often, it's actually found in the small decisions that we make. Do we raise our hand and offer a solution to a problem, even when we're not sure if we're right? Do we speak up and respectfully share our opinion and our ideas, even if we know that some people might disagree with us? Do we introduce ourselves to our neighbors or start a conversation with a classmate or a colleague? Courage is a muscle that grows as we exercise it. It helps us take a risk on a job that excites us, even if that job has less social currency and compensation. Courage empowers us to tell someone we love them, even when it's scary to be the first one to say it. Courage enables us to ask for help and to check on our friends who are struggling, even if we're not sure how to solve all their problems. So do one brave thing each day, however small. And if you do this, you will build the courage you need to live the life that you were destined for. Now, even with clarity and courage, true fulfillment may elude us without the third gift, connection to family and friends. Now, none of us, no matter how strong or skilled we may be, no matter how independent we may be, none of us can navigate the world alone. We all need people. And it's the relationships that you build and sustain that will be your greatest source of strength in the years ahead. They will soften the sting of disappointment. They will lift your spirits during hard times, and they will amplify your moments of joy. When we fail to sustain our relationships, though, the result can be painful. This is a lesson that I learned the hard way. In 2017, my life changed overnight when my first tenure as Surgeon General ended abruptly. Now, I was suddenly separated from the work and the colleagues that I loved. I had no idea what to do. I spent months struggling to find direction. In addition to losing my community at work, what had happened is that I had also allowed my ties to family and friends to diminish when I was in the job. And this is the cumulative effect of many small moments of putting work ahead of the people that I loved. Now, at this point, I wanted to call them. I wanted to reconnect with these friends, but I was also ashamed to ask for support when I hadn't exactly been there for them for several years. And feeling distant from friends and family led to a deep sense of loneliness within me. That loneliness paved the way for self-doubt and shame as I came to question my own self-worth. The truth is, it took more than a year of struggling with the pain and shame of loneliness, but I eventually found my footing. I didn't do it on my own, though. It was my mother and father and sister who called me every day to remind me that they loved me for who I was. It was my wife, Alice, who reminded me that the light she had seen in me when we first met was still there, even if I couldn't see it at times. My friends, Sunny and Dave, committed to video conferencing with me once a month and to text and talk weekly about the issues that weighed on our hearts and minds. Over time, I slowly healed. I laughed more. I came to appreciate small moments of wonder, and I started looking forward instead of backward. I healed because of the people in my life. At a moment when I felt that there was a tear in my soul, they patched me up with their acts of love. That is the power of human connection. It makes us whole. It focuses us on what matters. And it reminds us of who we are, especially when we forget. And we will all forget. These three gifts together, clarity about what matters, courage to act, and connection to those we love, these gifts are the key to living a deeply fulfilled life. And they are within your power to cultivate. Today, all of you are joining a sacred family of healers. Healers who for generations have stepped up to face the great challenges of their era, from smallpox and yellow fever to polio, and now COVID-19. But the most important qualities that make you a healer are the ones that you had long before you enrolled in school. The ability to care deeply for others, to listen compassionately, and to lead with love. Despite what the world may tell you, that is enough, and you are enough. It is the people we love who will bring us back to this truth again and again. Now I leave you today with a practice, a simple practice, that you can turn to during those moments of doubt and worry that will inevitably creep into your life. It's a practice that I use myself. So raise your right hand with me and place it gently over your heart. And close your eyes. Take a deep breath and think about the people in your life who have supported you on your journey to this moment. Your dear family, your close friends, your treasured teachers and mentors, the people who have been with you during your moments of celebration and joy, who have also stood by you during times of disappointment and pain. Feel their love flowing through you, strengthening you, guiding you, and filling you with peace. Know that you are deserving of this love. And know that this love is always there for you, whether they are with you or not. because it resides within your heart. And now open your eyes. What you felt was the power of love. Love is the world's oldest medicine. It is what I wish for you more than anything else in the world. Your ability to give and receive love is your greatest gift and your greatest power. And it is what will sustain you on every step of the journey ahead. So I wish all of you a lifetime of happiness, fulfillment, and joy. Congratulations to the class of 2023. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Murthy, for those inspirational words of wisdom. I think wisdom that we can all carry with us. Clarity, courage, connections to those that we love. I am moved by your words. I know that our graduates are. Hopefully all of those supporting them will carry those messages with them as well. So another round of applause for Dr. Murthy. And I'll do a little bit of modeling. I love you, Mom. Now it is time to recognize our first group of graduates. Doctoral graduates, please follow the marshal to the stage.
Dean Bowman, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Public Health, it is my pleasure to present the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree.
Dr. Emily Catherine Andrews, Invisible Information, Unseen Connections, an exploration of the hidden relationships that can shape data. Rupam Bhattacharya. Dr. Kiana D. Bess, Metropolitan Areas, Housing Instability and Child Health, examining the influence of residential mobility and race on child and adolescent behaviors. Dr. Kyle Campbell, Molecular Methods in the Human Placenta, Cell Types, Epigenetics, and Epidemiology. Dr. Elizabeth Crenshaw Chase, 2 biostatistical problems. Dr. Fun Fun, Bayesian approaches to compare dose levels from small n sequential multiple assignment randomized trials, SN SMART.
Dr. Alan Foster, Depression, Equity, and Green Space in Parks and Residential Areas. Dr. Zachary Gersten, Incorporating Biodiversity in Food Systems Modeling, Fisheries to Nutrition in Ghana.
Dr. Amelia Grant Alfieri, Persistent Organic Pollutants and the Development of Type 2 Diabetes in Midlife Women. Dr. Sarah Ann Gooden, Multiple Perspectives on Safer Conception for Women Living with HIV in Botswana, Implications for Service Delivery. Dr. Nicholas George Hartman, Risk Adjustment Models for Healthcare Provider Profiling. Dr. Landon David Hughes, Moral Panic, Backlash, and the Noxious Effects of Transphobia, Assessing the Structural Drivers of Trans Health.
Dr. Kimson Elizabeth Johnson, The Long Arm of Adversity, Examining the Role of the Adverse Life Events on Mid to Late Life Cognitive Functioning.
Emily Lawton, Elizabeth Florence Ludwig Borse. Dr. Carolyn A. Kiesling, Tobacco Control in the 21st Century, Policies to Address Traditional and Emerging Tobacco Products. Dr. Katarzyna Agata Klasa, Governing in Crisis, Interagency Coordination, Federalism, and the Role of Governors in United States Disaster Response. Dr. Ying Ma, Statistical and Computational Methods for High-Dimensional Genomics Data. Dr. Delvin Thomas Mattingly, Psychosocial Drivers of Racial Ethnic Disparities in Tobacco and Cannabis Use among Youth and Adults in the United States. Rachel Morgan, Dr. Pedro Orozco del Pino, Transferability of Polygenetic Risk Scores across ancestral populations and data integration methods for improving prediction on small sample studies. Dr. Molly Carter Mulcahy, Chrononutrition and Endocrine Contributors to Gestational Glycemia and Infant Birth Weight. Dr. Sarah Denise Rosenblum, Why do governments ignore their own experts? The role of scientific advice in COVID-19 vaccine policy. Dr. Stephen Salerno, Novel deep learning approaches for semi-competing risk prediction.
Dr. Fatima Shafi Khorasani, Data Integration Methods for Time to Event Outcomes.
Dr. Lulu Shang, Statistical Methods and Computational Tools for Genetics and Genomics Data.
Dr. Jeru Shi, Statistical Methods for Assessing Time-Varying Causal Effects, Novel Estimates and Inference.
Dr. Amanda Stanhouse, Privacy Self-Management, a means to many ends in healthcare. Dr. Yu-Ming Sun, Deep Learning for Large-Scale and Complex Structured Biomedical Data. Dr. Nicole Wakim, Methods for Summarizing and Imputing High-Frequency Digital Biomarkers in the Context of Longitudinal Data Analysis. Dr. Ijua Wong, Tau-inflated beta regression model for analysis of censored time-to-event data.
Dr. Song Hong Yao, Bayesian Learning of Structured Covariances with Applications to Cancer Data.
Dr. Yu-Chi Zai, Improving Estimation Efficiency by Integrating External Summary Information from Heterogeneous Populations.
Dr. Yuhua Zheng, Statistical Modeling of Large-Scale Network.
Dr. Boya Zhang, the Association of Long-Term Air Pollution with Incident Dementia and Loss of Independence in Late Life.
Dean Bowman, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Public Health, it is my pleasure to present the candidates for the Master of Public Health degree.
Allison Nelson. Elizabeth Suzanne Poteet. Sarah Mason. Jalen Franco Leon. Lindsay Little.
Mululiku Amajini.
Abigail K. Dornoff. Kimberly Vandeweghe. Ilana Freed. Corinne Bryant. Sabrina Hartwell. Taylor Brooke Schultz. Maya M. Rodimer. Madeline Yaw. Avery Elizabeth Burr Moji. Quinn T. Mi Bui. Darrell Tubbs II. Catherine Mary Grandinetti. Megan Lewis. Evan Valentine. Kamara Deanna Gardner. Brea Elizabeth Hicks. Michaela Connor. Cecily Barnes. Tamar J. Harrison. Allison Mary Morrow. Carlita Taylor. Jadrian Horton. Cheyenne Laldi. Catherine Lynn Garber. Jane Berry. Samuel Karski. Emily Ann Alexander. Kayla Jan Anderson. Kayla C. Campbell. Adam Ressler. Hannah Ruth Glick. Rebecca Leiston. Tatiana Higgins. Grace Work. Isla Kazemi.
Maricel Strand.
Yesenia Marlena Murillo. Ariel Rose Oppenheimer. Yua Shu. Iyue Yang. Kushbu Narendra Singh. Anum Zia. Veronica Olszewski. Kitty Opliger. Adam Sawicki. Kenneth Michael Petscavage. Adriana Itzamara Rojas. Jacqueline Rose Walker. Quentin Taylor Hazen.
Joseph Wardle.
Aaron Braden. Jonathan Kasai. Emily Brash. Kyra Powers. Sophia I. Silverman.
Wen Sean Ma.
Renee Jia Wu. Huda A. Bashir. Kira Grace Blakely. Andrew Vale Liberato. Brooke M. Lemire. Alyssa Marie Anwar. Jiaying Zhang. Ian Pache Smith. Supriya Singh Gupta. Rasmi Davu. Hannah Lalonde. Jenna Baldwin Downs. Amanda Nicole Escalera Torres. Shu Yi Chen. Kennedy Dubose. Joe Bartlett. Scarlett Cockle. Grace Yakum. Lauren Eisenman. Annalise Lane.
Paige Wicknicki.
Abigail Hutton. Katie Rose Wendlowski. Maria Alexandra Santana Garces. Molly Chrisman. T. Valroy. Isabella Rios. Maxwell Reiner. Noah David Brooks. Dunia Blagojevic. Shelby Joanne Schwall. Elizabeth Blahakis. Joshua Taylor Grindling. Mira K. Joshi. Bridget Eileen Lally. Christina Gomez. Sarah Cieslak. Amira M. Hayter. Shruti Talluri. Hanan Rakeen. Catherine Abraham. Honey Samir Modi. Abigail Lindsay. Grace Ann Horton. Mark Horvath. Billy Daring. Olivia A. Rockwell. Sarah Dermody. Chen U Liu.
Mengun Lin.
Maite Alexandra Zapata Ortiz.
Yi Chen Wang.
Anli Tang. Si Yu Meng. Jiwei Wei. Xia Wen Tan. Ze Yen Hong. Wenjuyan Zhang. Pei Yao Jiaxin Wu. Pei Yao Zhu. Matthew Bukala. Tristan Smith. Jordan Elise Mick. Haley Alyssa Hatfield. Audra Rose Gill. Audrey DeGroot. Kyle Terry. Caitlin Schwartz. Mackenzie Fernari. Victoria Fisher. Nicholas Pryor. Chu Wen Zhong. Eraba Owu Jian. Cynthia Lauren Wynn. Allison Seeley. Shoria Kothakapu. Shayla M. Zimmerman. Brianne Mackenzie Larkins. Liz Baldwin. Aria Deneen McCaster.
Alexis Roan. Alexis Roan.
Tasnuva Taranum. Lubna Sala Fiore. Jacqueline Ho. Davin Wheeler. Rachel Nicole Domzalski. Oksana Fedorak. Jackie Varela. Claire S. Liu.
Delaney Ryan.
Patrick Pinkowski. Luke Bustamante.
Nomokewe Nube. Numa Kawe Gwen Nube.
It's not my current movie. Thank you.
Gabrielle Rowe. Andrea J. Nay Bowman. Maria F. Bertoya. Asha Imani McElroy. Priya Bayasetti. Zainab Kazimpur Mofrad. Sasha Tretyakova. Sarah Peterson. Hadia Adel. Kaya Mills.
Sarah Nowak.
Cindy Thronson.
Meredith Mace.
Alejandro Rivas. Sarah Abigail McNally. Kenneth Charles Gill. Kenneth Charles Gill.
Megan Kaczynski.
Manon May Nita. Ariel Janae Buckley. Haley Blinkowitz. Zainab Hassan. Jordan Kim. Shuwei Kai. Morgan Phyllis Harris. Trenton B. Hunnan. Emily R. Hawker. Chelsea Gesirich. Stephen Veer.
Brianna Bowen. Sarah Gardner.
Jordan Thaler. Rebecca Rush. Rashi Kakar. Hannah Patrice Schneider. Caroline Logue. Chung An Liao. Chu Young Zhang. Xin Hui Hua. Ashley Tanksley.
Jocelyn Johnson.
Shu Chi Lu. Aaron Francis Welsh. Noel Kellogg. Shaylin Keating McCarthy. Morgan Camp Butler. Lacey Nicole Adams. Emily Rose Vario Silver. Catherine E. Flaster. Caitlin Sabai. Tara Pye. Rula Ghazi Abu Zaid. Amanda Page Buchanan Blom. Aaron Joyce. Janelle Villarreal. Marina Nora Valle. Jeremy Demetrius Lowe. Shanice Lachey Washington. Jennifer Anderson. Angela R. Elam. Sarah Cole. Elise Nicole Legalet. Emma Vandermeulen. Aliana Marie Melicor. Tiffany Lee. Lone T.B. Doan. Sarah McCain. Christina Nicole Tate. Courtney Frigo. Jason Golick. David Caputo. Alexis Mikaelian Mogg. Julie Emily Fung. Lexi Wilhelmsen. Shayna Rosenthal.
Zina Aborjali.
Jennifer Sarai Gonzalez Hernandez. Isabella Marie Gao. Gabriel Cortez. Kyra Badillo Villalon. Remy Mink. Swati Sriram. Jordan E. Clements. Andrew Yang. Burnley Labrie Truax. June Han. Jackie Blair Edgman III. Joelle Nicole Garant. Gabrielle Jakovac.
Dean Bowman, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Public Health, it is my pleasure to present the candidates for the Master of Health Informatics degree.
Dharani Krishnan Senthil Kumar. Trupti Khare.
Rebecca Aka. Bardosa Yanis Mohammed. Felicia Zhang. Tiana Wong. Bridget McDaniel.
Sunny Singh.
Yenna Kim. Elizabeth Choi. Samiksha Venkatesh. Cameron D. Utsi.
Dean Bowman, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Public Health, it is my pleasure to present the candidates for the Master of Health Service Administration degree.
Xiaying Mai. Supriya Alina. Shreya Yatnalkar. Spencer Blackham. Amy Liu. Samir Al-Muhammad. Katarzyna Liszcharczyk. Julia Martinez Hussein. Mallory McKnight. Sarah Joy McAllister. Eric Young Ki Hong. Gohar Waraj.
Sarah Austin.
Beverly Cruz. Jonathan Brueggemann. Trisha Mahapatra. Michelle Marie Gagliardi. Robin Rachel. Amar Kenshur. Lauren Kozowski. Tiffany Jessie Stahl. Jamal Applewhite. Alicia Ali. Jonathan Lawrence Ramsey. Kayla Quinn. Chunky Patel. Pranika Muthu Raman. Susmetha Baidia. Vartika Singh. Hassan Korani. Muhammad Omar Kadir.
Matson.
Margaret Ebbinger. Penny Sayu Yang. Hannah Hogan. Tiffany Zhou. Jumana Anwar. Yvette Phillips. Lauren Mary Shamo. Danwei Yang. Ayomide Dolapo Ogunsola. Brea Elizabeth Hicks. Hannah Lottie. Andrew Burgos. Liu Chung Chad Wong. Andrea Hahn. Adara Vanarath. Nupur Parikh. David Fuller Jr. Sydney Hardy. Deja M. White.
Aries Rutledge.
Ariana Horrison. Mariah Melendez. Molly Fox. Samira Donnie. Siri Ralabandi. Claire Roberge. Kristen Kufner. Radhika Janwar. Courtney Winnick. Courtney Winnick. Tuba Weber.
Dean Bowman, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Public Health, it is my pleasure to present the candidates for the Master of Science degree.
Jinhao Wang. Yutong Zhong. Zheyi Yang. Yichu Wang. Yu Xuan Chen. Abbas Shkembi. Tejin Huang. Ayung Annie Kwan. Neil Zhao. Margaret Quaid. Rachel Klein. Sahil Tolia. Anella Benjamin. Chloe Marie Wilkinson. Amber Siglin. Dong Yu Wong. Jade M. Schroeder. Xiao Chun Xiao.
Run Shu Wang.
Prasanna Mohanty. Karen Nguyen. Da Ting Gan. Meng Shu Yan.
Shu Zhang. Irene Shu.
Rachel Christina Davis. Ritaban Kundu. Karen Daniela Angulo. Swaraj Bose. Eileen Yang. Ben Smith. Ely Wong. Yao Song. Li Jia Wong. Jun Young Dong. Xinyang Xu.
Zhen Feng.
Yahweh Zhang. Wei Jiajin. Bo Wong. Hao Wu. Yanling Tong. Li Young Yuan. Sarah Medley. Malcolm Risk. Jessica Aldis. Sabir Mia. Maya Watanabe.
Ji Gao.
Isabel Gomez. Li Xiu Ma. Yingshen Xia. Yundun Zhang. Lavanya Muthakumar. Allison Meyer. Muhammad Ramli. Audrey Queeson. Juhan Zhang. Yualine He. Yiwen Chen.
Ann Cohen.
Andre Guerra. Abigail Lowe. Hannah Venera. Grace Tiernan. Samuel Fansler. Flynn McMorrow. Nak Koi Nguyen Juong. Yo Chi Yang. Haley Christina Talbot Stetsko. Nak Koi Nguyen Juong.
Kathy Tu Nguyen.
Shuai Cheng Yu. Chiaking Rosita Zito. Aonan Chen. Xiao Shua Liu. Ziman Jiang. Yua Pan.
Hua Jiang.
Lauren McConaughey. Selena Moon. Saw Young Jang. Ruo Xuan Mao.
Yu Bo Shaw.
Tienga Liu. Zeming Wang. Wei Zhou Qian. Yu Tong Pan. Richi Ren. Shu Heng Chiang.
Chetan Prakash.
Rosana Torres Alvarez. Dajane Junko Silvertooth. Ning Fang. Yi Din Zhang.
Jessica Zhao.
Guaoshuan Ma. Yu Tian Wu. Han Wen Zhang. Shu Bo Zhang. Zhui Wen Jiao. Xiao Chen. Xin Luo. Wen Chu Pan. Yi Qiang Zhang. Haixing Xu. Zeshi Wang. Han Zhang.
Dean Bowman, as per tradition, we save the best for last. On behalf of the faculty of the School of Public Health, it's my pleasure to present the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science degrees.
Kaveh Ashtari. Sriparat Korapella. Allison Xuan Zhang. Dahlia Ghazi. Arjun Kumar Batra. David Kramer. Miriam Tobia. Arnav Rai. Annie Zhang.
Kennedy Smith. Joshua Martins Caulfield.
Sarah Elizabeth Mills. Hillary Tran. Taiba Chaudhry. Sochil Giselle Amaro. Gina Leo.
Olivia Thompson.
Megan Reddy Charlakolu. Jackson Thomas Mott.
Ryan Lawson.
Frances Mary Knapp. Nina Sylvia Morduk Rosenberg. Alex Farfel. Ariel Roni Arbib.
Joshua Fritz Igis.
Chirag Balsara. Muslim Al-Ka'abi. Stephen Gerald Poshell.
Sohail Singh.
Holly Catherine Gurnick. Sydney Ann Bauer. Eve Sherwood. Claire Dorothy Scheipel. Serena Kaur Sandhu. Vanya Bardwaj. Kylie Francesca Scott. Celine Vanya Phillip. Meghna Singh. Sahita Indira Manda.
Juliana Mata.
Madeline Denenberg.
Meme Maxner.
Brianna Lynn Moglianesi. Kayla Cox. Olivia Graham. Fatima Dohadwala. Zara Hashmi. Akram Nidal Urshed. Alexandra Castro. Mirka Cardoso Garcia. Annika Elizabeth Hellenberger. Anna Hassi. Gabriella Marie Ahern. Lauren Callie Greenspan. Abigail Grace Knapp. AJ Noel Flannery. Emma Ariel Elmucci.
Samantha Gordon.
Priyanka John. Reem Fawaz. Anna Schaefer. Lily Ann Grills.
Claire Higley.
Eamon James McGonigal. Aloe J. DeGia. Sophia Heo.
Lin Jung. Nahim Mia.
Lucy Elizabeth Burwell. Hannah Lorraine Earhart. Libby Emma Daberco. Anaga Manish Shah. Isheta Shah. Kendall Riley Mosher. Marisveti Ariano.
Jacob Liu.
Athra Haitham Al-Ghazali.
Alina Bodwell.
Alexander Robert Emig. John Parker O'Connor. Amanda Lynn Malangaggio. Lauren Aileen Hertzer. Kathy To Win.
Marilyn Lee. Karen Wen.
Jillian Marie Terrell. Farva B. Akbari. Abigail Sell. Jana Gerato. Allison Grace Prendergast. Elizabeth Lee Rep. Mackenzie Ernesta Guard. Sophie Ann Bush. Kara Elise Starnes.
All right. Congratulations again to our amazing class of 2023. I want to mention as a reminder to everyone, there will be a reception just in Ingalls Mall. Once you exit the auditorium, if you go to my left, you'll see a reception there. Would love to see and meet many of you at that time. Graduates, as you leave, I'd like to say a few final words. This has been a commencement filled with many nuggets of wisdom, but I'd like to say a few more words to you. One is to remain compassionate. We choose to do this work out of concern and well-being of people. You will be tested again and again throughout your careers in public health. And in those moments, you must remember why we do this work. Recenter people and dig deep and remain committed to doing this work with love, care, and compassion, a few themes that we heard shared by our Surgeon General. The second thing is to remember that public health is a team sport. And that's at a university that prides itself in athletics and national recognition in team sports. But public health, too, is a team sport. Build a strong coalition and meaningful connections with the communities that you're serving. And I encourage you to start with a network that you formed right here in the School of Public Health. Reflect on the people who were here with you and got you through your journey. Encourage one another, inspire one another, lean on one another. And please stay connected with us at the school as well so that we can continue to celebrate your work as you begin the next chapters of your lives. Finally, keep going. Public health is an active term. It requires constant action to work toward health equity. You'll experience quick wins, but for the most part, public health, things are accomplished over years, even decades, not days. There will always be more to achieve, and there's no finish line for us. And so find work that inspires you and challenges you to continue learning and growing. Our work is truly a lifetime commitment, and I know that you're up for the challenge. So graduates, you've worked incredibly hard to be here today. You've chosen to dedicate your lives to improving the health and well-being of other human beings, and I cannot think of a greater calling. So on behalf of all of us, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and all of those supporting you today, we are so profoundly proud of you. We're rooting for you. You will forever be a member of the Michigan Public Health family, And students, if you're able, I ask you to now rise as graduates. So congratulations, and I'll ask you to join me on the count of 3 with the resounding Go Blue. 1, 2, 3. Go Blue!
Joe. I'll be right there. I just want to. Yeah. I don't remember. I just like.